다른 사람의 이름이 틀리면 미리 사과하고 싶습니다.
Hello everybody and welcome to today's review of Parasite, the new film by Bong Joon-ho. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not sure. I have heard of his films before. I remember when I was growing up, there was a Blockbuster near where I lived, and I could remember seeing an image of the host all the time. I also have heard of Snowpiercer because I'm a huge Tilda Swinton fan. Also, Oakjaw is on Netflix, and I've heard great things about it, but I haven't seen it yet because I don't have Netflix. Parasite marks the first of his films that I've ever seen. So lots of friends have recommended me to go see this movie, and I've heard a lot about it. It's been regarded by the media as the best film of the year. I know it won the Golden Palme at the Cannes Film Festival this year. It's obviously an Oscar frontrunner as well. So yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it, and so I finally went out and checked it out, and it was good. It was really good. So the film is about a low-class family, the Kims, who are struggling to make ends meet, and they are finding it harder and harder to get jobs. Until one day, at the suggestion of a family friend, suggests that the boy pose as a university student so that he can get a job tutoring English to the daughter of a very wealthy family, the Parks. And it worked. And then once this guy gets a job, he is able to use his influence to get his sister hired to be like an art teacher to the other child of this family. And then afterwards, the daughter's able to use her influence to get her father hired as the driver, and in turn the father gets to use his influence and get the mother hired as the housekeeper slash cook. So basically, the whole family deceives this rich family in order for all of them to work under the same roof. However, they have to pretend not to be related. I thought it was kind of a clever setup, and I was very interested to see how the plot progressed. However, something happens in the middle of the movie that just makes this scheme go haywire. It was a crazy twist, and it was pretty good. But I'm not going to tell you what happened because this is a spoiler-free review. Although I will say that there are secrets behind the walls that not even the Kims are aware of. This was a very well directed and very well shot film. The contrast between the two worlds, the working class and the upper class, is very evident and very well presented. The movie is full of suspense, full of comedy, and this comedy is more reliant on the irony of the situation that the characters find themselves in. And the acting is pretty good all around, apart from maybe two actors, but the one that stood out was the mom of the wealthy family, played by Yeo-jeong? Yeo-jeong. Yeo-jeong? Yeo-jeong. Yeo-jeong. Oh God, I'm saying this wrong. Again, if I messed up your name, I apologize. I'm very bad. The thing I liked the most about this movie, though, was the script. It is very well crafted, and this author really had something to say. It addressed issues about poverty, the economy, and an oversaturated market of any kind of trade, really. One character in the movie says, "We live in a world where 500 college graduates are fighting for a taxi driver job," or something to that effect. Pretty much a menial job. And it's true. I mean, in this day and age, people can be so skilled and so educated, but they cannot get jobs because reputation means more than anything else. And nobody wants to help a nobody. Yeah, I can relate to that. This movie is also a great social commentary on how the rich view the poor or the poor view the rich. I mean, the Kims find the wealthy Parks as a bunch of gullible idiots, while the Parks view the lower class, just as negatively, particularly for the smell. This movie also kind of reminded me a little bit of last year's Golden Palme winner at the Cannes Film Festival, Shoplifters. It deals with another family struggling with poverty who basically have to steal everything they need to survive. By the end of both movies, it kind of makes you think, what are we teaching our children? What kind of example are we showing to the youth, to the future of this world? And how is that going to affect the world in the long run? Although the end was a little bit over dramatic, a little bit over the top. I know this movie is basically a comedy, but the tone was kind of constant until the very end, in which case it seemed a little bit too ridiculous. You know what I mean? Maybe a little bit too ridiculous on camera, but on paper, it seems fine. Because like I said, the story structure was very good, and the script uses a lot of devices that we see later on in the movie, and then they become metaphorical. Just like this character always said, why does that seem so metaphorical? Because it is metaphorical. It does get a little bit on the nose sometimes, like the message of the film was expressed through the dialogue, and I really hate it when the characters give away what the whole point of the movie was. Sort of like a cop-out to me. I think a movie this well crafted could have done well to trust the audience to understand what the meaning of the movie was just by watching the characters interact with each other. I mean, we're smart enough, we could have figured it out. So my final thought of the movie, it's not my personal favorite of the year, even though everybody's saying it's the best movie of the year. As a filmmaker myself, I try to differentiate, the difference between my favorite and what I think is the best. It's not my personal favorite, but I do consider it one of the best, and I'm going to give it an A. Thank you for watching my video, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope to see you again next time.